Hello everyone. An unknown which can be known? That is a question we will tackle today. Thinking about what I said in episode 2, I talked about two aspects that represented the known and the unknown. The known is the order of hierarchy. The unknown is the mystical. The order is necessary for understanding things in a concrete sense. The question I raised was, can you know an order through the means of the mystical? The answer is in the manifestation which an unknown being becomes known. It is in how this unknown being relates to us on a personal level. There is a name for this. In the study of the soul, today known as psychology, there was a psychologist named Carl Jung. Jung coined this dynamic, an encounter with the greater personality. Jung was a student of Friedrich Nietzsche. Drawing from Nietzsche, he says, quote, "The greater figure, which always was, but which remained invisible, appears to the lesser personality with the force of revelation." He continues, "He who is truly and hopelessly little will always drag the revelation of the greater down to the level of his littleness, and will never understand that the day of judgment for his littleness has dawned. But the man who is inwardly great will know that the long-expected friend of the soul, the immortal one, has now really come to lead the captivity captive. That is, to seize hold of him, by whom this immortal had always been confined and held prisoner, and to make his life flow into greater life, a moment of deadliest peril." End quote. So we see it is possible to have an encounter with a greater unknown being. This brings the unknown to the known. The unknown is the unknown God. The unknown God is the mystical. But what about the order? That is something of the known. This is the order. First, an encounter with a being we will call God. Secondly, God will humble the subject. Thirdly, there will be a perseverance from the subject in their humility to God. Lastly, God gives the subject a divine revelation. One might ask, what use is this without examples? Very well, I will answer with my own encounter with the greater personality. Number 1. The encounter I had was with a man whose name means the swarthy God among us, who presented the sick and poor as the church's treasure and was martyred for it. The humility I faced, which is very hard to talk about, was when he posed the question that I could be persecuted for my faith and whether it was worth it. Number 3. Perseverance was twofold. First, I was asked this question, and seeing his glory, I said it would be worth the persecution. Secondly, I said those who are in the suburbs of America do not know God, but only their own safety. The divine revelation I received was knowing my name was in the book of life, and that I had become this man's child and was given a new name. Conditions of the metaphysical manifestation of an encounter with a greater personality must be right for something like this to happen. Rogue waves have thought to be legends until recently. This is where huge waves come out of nowhere, reaching heights in power that are far above normal. There are also less frequent and more rare rogue holes, where suddenly there would be a large absence of water where water should be. Spiritual conditions for an encounter with a greater personality are similar as the conditions to get a rogue hole. So we ask these questions. To whom does the spirit world belong? Where do we go when we die if there is a spirit world? What must we do to get to heaven? We will think on this next time.